for being here. I know the markets are quite interesting to say the least right now. The good thing is when you pay attention to the markets, whether up, down, bullish or bearish, corrective or not, you stay on top of the dynamic of what's to come. And being the little tariff talk that we're going to have here, and I think, yeah, today I was able to get this to load properly. So I tried something a little different when I started the live, but we'll see how it goes. So let me just do the intro real quick. We'll see how many people end up in here, but I'm glad that it at least it's set up in the fashion that I think it should. So the biggest thing we need to watch right now is there's two metrics right now. One, it's good to see the altcoins that are going up a little bit today. There's no doubt about that. Not all of them are, but the majority have gone up. DGB is down 1.36%. But aside from that, most of them on our list, at least seeing a little bit of green today. But to me, the biggest metric that I'm not going to say it goes unnoticed, but it really needs to be paid attention to. And let me turn the comments on. But it really needs to be paid attention to. And just let me know, everybody, if it's in horizontal today, because if it is, I think I found a rather bizarre solution. But we'll see what everybody says. But we need to pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance chart. The Bitcoin dominance chart looks like it's starting to break out in a bullish fashion. James says you're good. Thanks, James, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I really, really greatly appreciate that support, especially, when the market's been a lot of volatility to kind of like just stationary. 1970 Legend, thanks for continuing in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Meteor. UK Phil, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Incredible. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that. But we need to pay attention to the the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's my birthday today. Army, take a shot for me. Oh, wow. Trading with J-Ride. Happy birthday. Thank you not only for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge, but also that $10 donation. Wow. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to our dear friend J-Ride. Happy birthday to you. Salute, my friend. If I had a shot, I would take it. That's awesome. I don't know if he said how old he was. J-Ride, how old are you? I feel like you're probably on my, well, maybe not quite to my neck. Well, I don't know. I think you're, for some reason, I feel like we're similar. Marco, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor, along with Keith and Papa Wheelie. Also, Jennifer Kupiak, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months. Glad to see you could shake off the sappy one that commented on your comment on my video earlier. It's kind of funny how people are. Tanya, welcome in. Love always makes my day a little happier when I see you in here. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. I feel like we got a nice house here today. Brian, welcome. He says, stick with the T. That's right. That's right. Oh, I love it. Marco Trombley, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. George, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Everybody's saying happy birthday to J-Ride. Make sure you say happy birthday. Make sure you say happy birthday to Trading with J-Ride. He's been in here forever, literally. Mark Caston, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army. Love it. Love it so very much. Thank you for your continued support, my friend. William, welcome in, IQ. Always gives us a beautiful prayer. Always. Love it. We got a great community here. But yeah, we'll get into this. I just like to acknowledge everybody as they get in here. I really do. It means a lot more to me when I say it to everybody. So you're going to start to hear me talk to everybody who's in Tom's Army and just announce it. If it takes forever, so be it. Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. I mean, a very trusted mod. Adam, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Frank, thank you so much for still being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month. Frankie Fresh with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. And I believe we got a new member in Tom's Army. How incredibly awesome is that? James Dula, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army in your 1st month. And I know it's your 1st month because that's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Oh, I kid you not. If I had my picture, I could show you it, but it's put away because our house is still 5th week of remodeling in our house, but it's doing great. Jim says, I'm new to the channel, but definitely loving your authentic, knowledgeable crypto content. Oh, I appreciate that, Jim. I always tell everybody I'm just doing my historical data as I go through my journey. I'm not trying to sway anybody. I'm just trying to show you what I see. I don't take any sponsorships or anything like that, so I don't have to promote anything. So you're getting authentically what I believe, whether right or wrong, because I'm not always right. I just try to do my best to be accountable and be here every day. So, and I'm not a financial advisor. So you guys do have to make your own decision. But I started, just so you know, I started March 24th of 2021. And I've been here just over 4 years now, and I've never missed a day. So every single day I'm here. You know, that's one thing I can guarantee you. I'll be here as long as the Lord and Savior allows me to be. So, and you know, I've had broken bones and deaths in the family and trauma with my son and things like that. There's just been a whole lot of things that have happened. But our consistency is being here together. So that's why I always tell everybody, no matter what is happening, and it might seem like a funny joke to be, you know, mean to somebody in comments or, you know, kind of put them through the ringer or make them feel small. But remember, for some people, and that could even be me on any given day, when I come in here, this is my sanity. This is like the house we all built and we became one big family. So when you come in here, it's not a safe space because it's anything but it's a space where you should feel comfortable and, you know, being able to express what you feel about not only crypto, but, you know, allowing yourself to be more of a freer spirit in here so that you don't have to be so like guarded about, you know, upon somebody making fun of you or things like that. So that's why you can never be so sure, you know, and we're just talking crypto. This isn't like we're, you know, talking medical science, which is all bullshit mostly anyhow, but you know, it is what it is. So anyhow, before I get in trouble, good evening. 6:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, April Fools, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. There, I did your April Fools, right? Now you guys can guess whether or not I'm actually going to be a millionaire. But no, I don't like April Fools, especially in finance. I say it every year. IQ, welcome back to Tom's Army. Greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that. And over 6 months now in Tom's Army with the XRP Predictor. I love it. Papa Wheelie says, I feel so comfortable. I watch in my boxer briefs sometimes. Nice. For all you guys know, I could be pantsless on a daily basis. Oh, actually, I can't because I have kids running around the house. But you get my picture. You get the picture. In theory, I could be pantsless. But I think despite what's going on, we have to be two things we have to be vigilant of. One, we have to, it's 6+ months IQ in Tom's Army. It goes all the way to the 12 months though. So it could be anywhere from 6 to 11. So I don't quite know. I'm watching from 80 feet in the air in a man basket. Oh, Christ. You be safe, Kryptonian. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. I told you so bad. Bye. Bye, Michaela. Bye, Scar. Man, be safe. 80 feet in the air. Somebody's watching me 80 feet in the air. I love it, Kryptonian. Look at this crowd. What a family. Shane, welcome in.
We have a family?
Yeah, somebody's watching from 80 feet in the air. He said, I'm watching from 80 feet in the air on a man basket.
Ooh, what's a man basket?
It kind of sounds like he's working like in a place that I don't want to be.
A cherry picker?
So are we talking? That's what I was thinking. Hopefully you're not like tied up in electrical lines and things like that, you know? I'm afraid of all that. Nope. I was soldering something when I was doing sprinklers, when I was putting in their main box. And you have to put a panel in the basement and it has to connect to the electrical. So when I was soldering, my dad's like, hey, don't let it drip on there and then hit it. He's like, it's going to shock you. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, you're going to know if it happens. Well, sure, shit, I'm just doing it. Everything seems fine. Oh, my God. It's the last time I ever worked with an electrical line. Fuck that. So I firmly believe that I'm not allowed to work on that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter if I understand it or not, can't do it. Nope. So I keep myself away. But man, I still remember that to this day. That's how bad it hurt. Jesus Lord. If you're at the B tomorrow, Tom, on this historic day, do you think we're going to be up or down? I want to say up, but my gut tells me down based on the metrics. Now, we can change some of these metrics. We can change some of these. Like Bitcoin needs to get above that area and get out of this pattern. Otherwise, even if you stay within this little descending consolidation, the bottom of this right now, and it's actually a little bit lower, if you want to be honest. Because I could make the argument that it could be a little bit low. Oh, man. But I don't think this pattern, if it comes back down, necessarily will hold, is my whole thing. I think, well, you know what? I don't even need to do that. Honestly, I could play it like this and it'd be perfectly acceptable. You could play it like this and it would even be acceptable as well, because you could say those were wicks and you came through. But at some point, it's gonna have to come back down and revalidate. I don't know. I'm kind of caught between, because I feel like if this gets rejected at 86,647, it's coming down to 64K. Like I almost feel like it has to come through here. Like Bitcoin has to come through here. If it doesn't, it's a little bit of a problem here. Now we're coming up right now to that death cross area. So this is a big moment. It's ironic that we're hitting the actual rejection of a death cross and the part where we could get rejected here, leading into what Trump's doing with the tariffs. And, there's speculation that there's going to be a universal 20% tariff across all imports into the USA. And if that's the case, if you live in the USA, get ready to spend 20% more on all products. And I see even in the Telegram, a lot of people are discussing, like what I say about that and like how legitimate that is. And like, honestly, not everybody understands economics the same way. And the bitch part about it is we're not taught the truth. So either you believe me or you don't, but it doesn't change the fact of how it goes. So you can either believe me or not that when they put a tariff of 20% on another country, that we are paying it as a citizen, or you don't. And you pay 20% more as a citizen, but don't know the truth. So either way, it's fine by me. But just like in crypto, I don't speak nonsense. I'm also not going to act like I'm oblivious to the way it works, because that's exactly why I'm so good at what I do, because I understand the the economics. Now, what I see here with Bitcoin is the potential here possibly. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but there is absolutely a potential of an inversion here. Like this could be an inverse head and shoulders possibly. I still think this is the way you would have to look at this though. Like you'd have to give it credibility. I do. I think that's how you would have to do it, because right now you're looking at it as support, resistance, back to support, back to resistance. Can we break through? If not, back to support. And you need 3 hits on each side to push the pattern properly. I kind of feel like if you're looking at this legitimately, that this is how you'd have to look at it. But at the same time, you could be like, all right, well, maybe something's happening, like boom, boom. I don't know. Not a lot of volume came in, but there's one metric that points in the favor at some points of Bitcoin. And that's the dominance. Like the dominance is big, but with what's looming tomorrow, this feels more like, unless we get a substantial pull out of here, which could happen. If we can get a pull out of here, well, then all bets are off. We could get a nice surge. But if we don't get a pull out of here, we're actually in the rejection area. So let's just get past the rejection area right now. Like this is the absolute rejection spot on the daily. So a head, 2 legs, third set. I know. You don't got to tell me, my friend. I understand. I certainly understand what's going on here, and it's not pretty. But we'll see. We'll see, because right now we're doing the exact take the steps down, and it's getting a little ugly. So we need to see. We need to see if we can push past this range. The heat liquidation map's mixed because we have a lot above and a lot below. So it actually is a little. It's not so easy to decipher, because it's not as heavy as it used to be. But we're coming through the clear liquidation zone right now. What the hell is this? Why is it at 60? Oh, I was going to say. We've got liquidation up at 88, 89, 90, which we very well could come up to, because it's almost like we formed some kind of, maybe a small bull flag to finish this off. And if this happens, maybe it comes up to this range. And then below us, if you're looking at, well, what could be set up for, like, maybe it dumps on us real quick. We've got the most liquidity right now at 80,000. What's this? Oh, shit. Holy shit. I didn't realize it was that high. Excuse my French. That actually caught me off guard. I didn't know it was over $1 billion now. Look at that. At 80,950, there's 1.02 billion to be liquidated in Bitcoin. Whoa. I don't know when was the last time you guys seen $1 billion in one spot for Bitcoin liquidation? It's been a long time. Wow, that actually caught me off guard. So the answer is there's plenty of liquidation on the way down. More down than up, which is not necessarily a good thing. Reversal, though, for sure trying to take place, though, to get us to 88. Can't we at least see that? Like maybe a small push to 88? The only problem is that level of liquidation's been wiped out. Oh, man. I got to go grab a drink of water. I'll be right back. But that is something right there. Good. Love you. Sorry. Julie's doing the feeding for our son through his G-tube, so I want to make sure everything was good. Somebody said they still blame Shane. I second that. It's all Shane's fault. No, I'm kidding. Now, we do have a little bit of red here at the end of this, so it's tricky right now just because of what's happening with the tariffs tomorrow. That's not, just look at it this way. When you keep basically taking from the middle class, and like the rich don't, and the reason why the ones who are more wealthy don't feel this as much, think about it this way. If you've got bills and you're pressed, and when you get done paying your bills, you've got a few $100s left over, maybe you have nothing left over, and then they raise your prices by 20%, you're fucked. Now, a rich person, they've got millions of dollars left over, or let's say they've got $10,000 at the end of the month left over, so they're always in a deficit or in a positive place big time. You take 20% of that, now they got $8,000 left over each month, right? Well, what if you got no money? Take 20% of nothing. Where's it coming from? Another job. So that's something to consider when we talk about risk assets. If they keep pushing it too far. Now, I have no doubt in my mind we're going to get a massive bullish reversal once they go into quantitative easing officially, and then they lower rates, even though they shouldn't. I have a huge positive feeling about that. Now, on the XRP monthly, on the liquidation map, I mean, there's a lot of liquidity to the top side here. 261, 260. There's small range. Ooh. Okay, so there is some below us too. Fuck. I didn't see that 300 billion down here until I just clicked on it. Okay, so $2.01. There's 303 billion down there. And then you've essentially got the same liquidity below. I mean, you've got a little bit more on some spots above, but it is not crazy like I thought it was going to be. 257 at least there. 299. I mean, it's not out of this world. But remember, before we seen a lot of liquidation above, and because the price liquidated so far down, the ones who are above, they just simply cashed out the position and that liquidation was gone, that money. And this looks like a nasty setup here. I mean, just in the short term, it looks nasty, like it wants to come down here for some reason. I don't know why it's trying so hard to come back down there. I don't know. Wait a minute. This needs to come back over, but I don't know why. It wants to. I mean, it's been trying to tug down here the whole time. It filled a couple of these sections. And now it's trying to do some kind of little reversal. It's not, it needs, let's just put it this way. If it wants to make sure this isn't a bear flag, it's got to get out of here. It's just, it's having so much problem. It's having so many problems. It's unbelievable when you think about it. All the liquidity is what will drive the huge XRP surge in May. I don't disagree with that. I actually think we're better off when I'm looking at it long term. I think we're better off for Bitcoin to go to 64 and for XRP to go to $1.50 and then start taking off, you know, when we get into like closer to the summer month. And then we could have a nice correction going into, you know, yeah, that's what I was talking about, was that inverse, possible inverse head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, head, maybe a right shoulder, maybe left shoulder, head. It's hard to tell right now. That's why I keep saying we need to get over that 86,647, invalidate this drop so that we don't have to go back to 74 or even worse, 64. So there's no doubt there's a chance. We just need to make sure that this isn't a profound setup here, as right now we're technically retesting a death cross right now in a bearish way. So this is where you're trying to get confirmation that this is a death cross. So we got to be careful here. The fact that we can't get over it is kind of a warning sign, but so far, you know, we could still break out of this. We really could. It's just, like I said, no pain, no gain here, because it was going to be painful on this journey. No lies have been told. And look, that resistance is coming straight through. So we need to see the 1, 2, 3. We've had 3 or 4 times now we've been rejected at that same resistance. So definitely that's what's happening right now there. And Bitcoin's at 85. I mean, we're at an inflection point. We are at an inflection point right now. Like, we're definitely at an inflection point of, is this going to go up or are we coming down? We were at about, what, 85? It hasn't come down that much. 85,520. I mean, like I said, it's got to consolidate every step of the way. But now you're really looking at the daily time frame closes in 52 minutes. And now all of a sudden, you're on the bottom side of that 200-day still, which is bearish. Could that be considered an inverted hammer? It could. Have we been fooled every step of the way? Well, they've tried. At least we're over the 20-day right now. The 20-day is at like 84,900, we'll say. So we'll see. We will see. Right now, though, we have a bona fide death cross that we're trying to confirm on this back test. And if this gets hit as resistance, we got some problems. 4 hourly, we've got the 200-day resistance up here. It's going to be tough here. If we get just a burst here, it'd be great. It'd be great if we get just a little burst here. I would not hate it. I would actually encourage it to go up. Make me a lot happier if it goes up. Makes our audience a lot happier. That weekly looks disturbing, though. We didn't even come back up halfway through the last weekly. Well, I mean, it's only the second day now. Yeah, almost 2 days into this candle. It's an interesting, God, I wish the tariffs weren't tomorrow. I do. Aren't they official on the 3rd? But I know he talks tomorrow. Let's see what this says. I wonder what the crypto fear and greed index is. There's no way it's at 34. Impossible. It says it updates in 40. Yeah, I don't think that's right. Is it really at 34? Can somebody please tell me? Coin market cap says 24, but this hasn't changed and it seems like eons. Yeah, it's at fucking 34. Is it? There's no way. I need some validation here. There is no way it's at 34. Yeah, 19 seems more realistic. I was going to say there's no way it can be that high. Yeah, why do all of these show some ridiculous numbers? I don't understand, like, why are all these saying such a ridiculous number? It's been like this for a while. I feel like it's not accurate. Yeah, the CNN one's at 19. So CNN says 19. One of them says 24, which is, I think, CoinMarketCap. The alternative one says, a lot of them say 34. So they definitely don't have them set up properly. That extreme fear, though. Oh, that's the S&P 500. 7 fear and greed indicators. The S&P 500. Oh, that's the S&P. So this is an extreme fear. Stock price spread. Put and call options markets. Oh, well, this isn't even what we want. I just don't understand, though. Why does the alternative me always have 30 or it's been at 34 for the last 2 days? That doesn't seem right. I don't know what to believe anymore. CoinMarketCap at 24, but like I said, one says 24, even 24 seems ridiculously high. I know it's not a high number but for where we're at right now. And then I see 19 here, which seems to be more, that seems more realistic to me. But now I'm seeing that this is the stock market fear and greed index. Because this isn't even the crypto. This is all stock market related. Gold, it's not that gold's bearish. Gold just went up so much. Gold's at 3,111. I'm not, it's going to have to come down and correct. But it's not because of the tariffs. I think if anything, what we've seen is the last couple times tariffs came out, you'd have a little bit of a down and then another leg back up. So I think this is just a normal correction right now. You can't just go up unabated. I know as well as you do, we got to come back down to 3,058 at least to fill this. I mean, I'm not comfortable with that gap being there. So I think it's a great time for it to come down right there. And like we said, the mining stocks are the indicative part of this, telling us that something wasn't right with the price because they were already cutting. So I feel like we got to at least come down there, at least, probably lower. Because like I was looking through this chart, we probably never retested that area either. So it's interesting because we could talk about, we might have to come down a couple $100, but it's not that it's bearish in the short term with the tariffs. I just think it went up so quick and now it's just got to break back down a little bit. And what's going to end up happening, I think, with the tariff, here's what I think. When they announce these tariffs, I think the US dollar is going to go up. And it's going to bring downward pressure on gold. It's not that gold's going to go down. It's that the US dollar is going up, which makes it cheaper to buy gold because the dollar is becoming more valuable. That's what I think is going to happen. But all that's really happening is this is going to come up for another rejection. Probably, it might be overzealous and come past 105. Somewhere between 105 and 106, I think is what's going to happen. So I think that's probably what's happening. But yeah, the tariff stuff, it's annoying. Only because what they're not telling you, especially in the USA, and if your country's buying into this nonsense, if your country is being tariffed, don't play the game. It has no effect on you as a citizen. If we put a 20% tariff on the rest of the world for sending us in their exports, has nothing to do with the citizens of the rest of the world. We're going to pay that 20% because we're the ones importing those products. That's simple economics. They don't teach you that in school, but that's the way it works. But if you go bitch to your local government and buy into it, and then they put a tariff on us and you're sitting there celebrating, popping a beer, drinking, smoking a joint, smoking a cig, just celebrating, and you just got suckered in to pay the same tariff as the USA. The only problem I have with this is we're still paying all the same taxes. So if you're going to put tariffs on, take away my state tax or my federal tax, and better yet, take away my federal fucking tax. Why am I paying all these taxes if now I got to pay a tariff on a product and it's going to cost me 20% more? So Liberation Day, it's Mitigation Day. Liberation Day makes me, it's not Liberation Day. It's strap us in chains day. That's exactly what it is. I can't make this up. We want to make and buy American goods. Bull fucking shit, excuse my French. That is not. How are you going to do it? You got nobody who knows how to make the fucking products here. We don't teach it anymore. There's no factories that can do what you're talking about. Sean, whether or not I like somebody because of what they do is not indicative of whether or not I agree with them. See, there's a big difference. I like Trump for his business practices. I like Trump for his understanding of the tax code, and he's taught me that understanding. I like Trump for the fact that he's always progressively done better, and he doesn't look at skin color. But I don't agree with the fact that I called this out. Don't try to turn this on me, Sean. I'm the one who actually called it out when it first happened with the meme tokens. You know, I like you, but I don't necessarily agree with everything. You know, I like a lot of people, but I don't agree with what they do. I like the principle of what the person is, but when you get into office, you got to understand the central banks run the show. It has nothing to do with trust, my friend. I just know if you're in the office, you had to agree to something. But I'm not talking political. That's it. That's just it. The only reason I'm talking about the tariffs is because it affects crypto. I talked about this in late December, early January, and leading into when they started the whole Trump token and all this other shit with the memes. And I said, that's a cycle top for now, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Sold 70% of my stuff and said, you know, it is what it is. And now here we are sitting 50% down in most things, and nobody still is understanding what's actually happening here. You know, we're having a profound little thing going on here, but we're all to see what's happening here. You like Trump. Yeah, Tom, you like Trump. You know, oh, trust the plan, it's Trump. You see what's happening here? So what we do is they end up manipulating us through what we like or what we hate. And then instead of understanding the issue, like the tariffs, some people agree just because they like Trump, and some people disagree because they hate Trump. But they're not understanding the main point is we're all, as USA citizens, paying the friggin' tariff. All of us. So what does that mean to tie this all together? If we're paying 20% more for things, the first thing that gets hit is risk assets. I'm not bullshitting you. Risk assets get hit the hardest when people don't have as much money. We're all going to be fine. In what sense? Are you going to be fine? Listen, my friend, the 20% tariff alone, everything's 20% more expensive once that happens. So if you live in the USA, are you going to be fine? Is the US not at a record credit crunch right now where people have record amount of credit and they can't take out any more and they have no room on their credit cards? I mean, there's when you have stagflation and stuff, there's no extra money is what I'm saying. There's no extra money. Actually, if you look at it honestly, Nick, if the US dollar gains value, technically crypto should be cheaper because it should be less expensive to use the US dollar to buy that very crypto. So I don't think so. Because the money we're using to buy crypto in USD is becoming more valuable, so the price should become a little cheaper. That's how I look at it. So when the US dollar goes to 80, which it will, crypto should be about 25 to 30% more expensive just based on the fact that the US dollar is going to drop 25 basis points, in a sense, 25% of its value. So it's the last few weeks have been negative. I don't think they've been negative. The charts are going exactly the way I'm speaking. I apologize if it's negative. I'm just telling you the truth. I wish I could. I'm being as positive as I can. Okay. How does the money come back to us is what I want to know. I seen somebody say, how does it come back to us? We're paying another country a 20%. Like what how does it come back to us? They're selling us the product. The only thing that's happening right now is you're the one who's oh true. I mean that's true, Sean. It is what it is. I just speak with what I know, but I don't know. I don't like talking this political nonsense because I think it warps our mind. The bottom line is take politics out of it and take who's putting the tariffs in out of it. If Joe Biden, for the Trump people who are saying it's going to be fine, if Joe Biden took this same approach, what would you say? So I'm not trying, that's why I'm saying I'm not looking at it from a political side. I'm looking at it from pure economics. And from an economic standpoint, it's going to hurt us. So, and I already know a lot of my constituents, 9 out of 10 neighbors are broke. That's the true statistic now. 9 out of 10 people that you see going past their house, you know, they have no money. No, I understand, Cruz. He says there's no point in arguing with P0. I get that. Tell Tom, speak the truth, my friend, and the rest are in his hands. Amen. Amen. God is within us in this very discussion and within me. I preach this not just for myself, but I'm giving the guide in hand. But do you guys see what's happening, though? We all speak of the Lord and Savior, which means God's present in this moment. He's watching over us, but that means the truth is coming out in some avenue, and unfortunately, it's coming out between me and some others. James, listen. This is the best way I can say this, and I don't disagree with you about low, but this is the best I can tell you. We all have differing opinions, but unless they're the same as what is relevant to economics, they're bullshit. I hate to say that, but we all have beliefs and we all have understandings, but unless you have the right belief and understanding, it's all bullshit. That's what I try to tell you. I try to speak the truth. The truth shall set you free in more ways than you can ever imagine. They used to say knowledge is power. The problem is the knowledge they give us leads to our own constraints because we're not being told the truth. And when you hear the truth, it makes the person saying it sound like a complete asshole because you've never heard it that way. I understand. I read what everybody says, not just in the comments, not just in the Telegram, but even in my own personal life, when I speak, I'll see what people say. And it's like, man, how did we get here? You know, how did we get here? So I try to enlighten along the way. But at the end of the day, this is what I believe. So as long as I'm telling my truth, that's all I can do. We all believe our own things, but I like to believe, you know, honestly, it took me a long time to realize, you know, we can believe what we want or we can believe what we need to. And what we need to believe and what we want to believe are often two very different things. Very different things. Kind of like the, I'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because you need to hear it, not because you want to hear it kind of thing. I agree with that, though. I agree with that. I don't think it's necessarily that people have low IQ. I just think people aren't taught the truth, and they've been taught bullshit for so long. You know, that makes it hard, you know. So, but anyhow, that's beyond it. You know, that's beyond it. But everybody, I don't even want to go down it. I don't even want to go down that path because look what's already happening. We'll do the divide and conquer, and this community is about more than dividing. You know what we've grown to be able to do, is that we at least have the respect for each other. So that's one thing that we'll have to maintain. So with algo, we've back tested here, and we do have a chance of reversing. Like we could reverse out of here. And if we do, then we'll come up to the next resistance threshold. And it's been quite a while since we've come back up here. And that's at about 27.5 cent area. Nice descending consolidation. Like there is some evidence that suggests that we could bounce out of here. Nah, I don't think you're low IQ for not selling $3, Nick, honestly. Because when you look at the wick off, I mean, technically you're supposed to have 5 waves, and the fact we've only done 4. But that's why I keep saying, even in a 4 wave right now, we could still come back technically to $1.50. And then we just wouldn't have as big of a move on 5. But we're not invalidated if we came down. Now, we are showing some signs with a lot of things like, hey, maybe we do have a nice reversal here. But, you know, we've got to, let's just put it this way. We got to fix this death cross across the board. Ethereum's got to fix this bearish momentum. And at some point, it's going to have to backtest some of these drops. So could I see Ethereum coming down or coming up to around 2,200, even if it's bearish? I sure could. I sure could. You know, even if it is bearish. Good. I got a lot of trash out there and people are taking a bunch of the stuff out there. Oh, I'm so happy to see this. I was hoping some people would use some of this because I know there's some materials they can use. Anyhow. So yeah, for Ethereum, the first thing we have to get past is the 20-day, but we can look at it in a smaller sense. Like first big area is up here at the 200, but we're not even to that level yet. We're not even really there either. This is where we're at. The 30-minute time frame. We need to see if this builds a bullish continuation here, which means we'll be okay down to 1850 roughly. Like it could, in theory, come down here and we'd probably be okay. But if it comes through there, this would probably be busted. There could be a small bull flag here as well. We'll see if this can pan out. Maybe a little inversion here. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll see first area if this breaks through. Now, if it does, I think we could make a play up to about that $2,000 mark pretty simply. I think that would be the next big area. Would be around 2,000. So it's funny watching people when they pick through your garbage. I always wonder, like, you know, what particular people are looking for. And they found stuff, though. I knew that they would find stuff. Anyhow. I could see a pump. I could see a pump. Now, does that mean we're followed by a real quick dump? I mean, obviously that's what's been happening, but it's not over yet. That's what I keep trying to tell everybody. As much as I can talk bearish, I also talk bullish because it's not over yet. Like this very well could be a nice reversal. And in a lot of things, we came down to support structures. The problem is we're being compounded by that big downward pressure, which caused the death cross. And when you have technical traders, they often look for these longer term reversals. And for Ethereum, I mean, we've had a cross of the 20 through the 50 and now through the 100 officially about to be. Actually, did it already happen? Yeah, the 20 and the 50's now been, or the 50 and the 100's been crossed now by the moving averages. So it's more than just a reversal right now. This is turning into something. If it doesn't reverse quickly, it could be catastrophic. And that would mean like another 50 to 75% gets cut out of crypto. It's a crazy thing we are. Adam and Eve structure. I mean, I could see that. It's not quite there yet, but we're close. If you're talking about finishing that structure. But like for XRP, we never gave this back. We did what we needed to, at least at a minimum over the weekend. We held this area. So it's we just got to break past some of these areas. That's it. If we can just break past them, we're going to be okay. Yes, I know some things just got absolutely hammered. But like even XRP, we got to get rid of the bearish crosses here through the 50 and the 100 now. You just can't afford to get a rejection at that 229 level and then start playing down because technically at $1.93, $1.94 is the 200. So you got to take a choice here. We got to make a move. We got to make a move here. Like we really do. XRP Bitcoin pairing down 0.79%. It was looking quite strong. Little bit of a cup here was formed. Now, could it be building some kind of handle? It could. So we'll watch that. We already came down here and back tested a little bit here. Never back tested the structure. So, I mean, if we come too far, we'll have to come all the way back down. But that's to be determined if we're going to come all the way back down there. That's a rather substantial drop. Maybe a little too substantial. Whew. Yeah, no, we don't want to see that. Oh, no. Weekly time frame, we still have the golden cross, which is nice. Weekly engulfing candle, ooh, that's not so nice. Well, the good news is we still have 5 days to reverse this all the way around. Like I said, we got to get hot here. We need to get hot here. I'll just continue. We got to get hot. No, we haven't, Nick. That's good. That's a very good sign. At least on the last monthly. I know we're into a new month, but the monthly scares me too. Because technically, the way it's set up, we could. Here's one of two things that could happen here. One, we just break out of here. We break out, we start pushing up, and we start pushing through this resistance. The second thing that can happen is this needs to shoot all the way down to the 20-day for a volatile swing down, even if it's going to hold it. And then we can break out. So we've got big choices here. Almost looks like the weekly candle before this was an inverted hammer. So if we could do something, on the monthly, if we could do something. Well, if it was sell the rumor, buy the news, you wouldn't be coming up today. That's the problem. Right now, everything is railing up leading into the announcement. So I don't know. You got some things up anywhere from 3 to 10% right now. So, you're technically not dropping going into the announcement the day before. So now if we turn red at 8 o'clock, which is what we need to watch for. I think everybody's holding their breath for 8 o'clock, which is 28 minutes from now. Fortunately, you'll have to do it, without me bothering you. Well, maybe not fortunately. But we got about 13 minutes left here. And I want to look at H-bar real quick. I want to see what's going on with DGB because it's still in the red today. Not by much, but it's still in the red. As of right now, DGB is still in the monthly. It's respecting this big drop right now, this bearish cross. Like the 200-day would be down a little bit if you look farther, but it's not set in stone, so it doesn't have it. The weekly time frame, it hasn't been able to get hot either. It's kind of just sideways consolidating. Daily time frame, it's gotten hot twice, but here's something I see. So you see how DGB looks? Let's take a look real quick at theta. And let's look at this in the weekly. I think it was, no. Yeah, look at the weekly. So theta in the weekly went top, double top, back through to uptrend. If you look at the daily with DGB, it's kind of I don't want to say it's identical. But now look at this, even in the weekly, up to a top, watch. I think it looks very similar to what theta did, but theta's ahead if it follows the same trajectory. And it'd be interesting because both of these are very big Internet of Things tokens. So then theta came through, so then it would have to end up somewhere down here. So yeah, Jim Cramer said to sell your gold for Bitcoin. That's a true story. So, what do you think? So that's DGB in the weekly, right? This is theta in the weekly. Do you see a similarity here? I'm being honest. Do you see a similarity here? Do you see this? Up, down, back up for a double top, and now it's swung through. DGB looks like it's trying to follow a similar trajectory as we've had a double top. It's come down. It hasn't come through yet, but it looks like it's following a similar trajectory. And then if you look at it in the short term, it mimicked this double top. If you look at it in the daily, it's easier to see and a smaller scale. So it feels like to me DGB has got some room to go to the downside, but you never know. You never know. It's now 15% away from that 1 cent mark. So it's starting to put some distance. So we'll see if at 8 o'clock we get any kind of volatility to the upside with crypto. There's definitely some things that are happening that make you feel like, uh-oh. And like even H-bar with the return rally it's had today, Tom, why do you like DGB? One, because it's a mainstay in the Internet of Things. Two, it's kind of like it's a humanitarian style thing. It's like for the it's I don't know the right words, but it's kind of like for the freeing of every person. You know, it's nonprofit and things like that. It's got technology that could blow away in many aspects, even the things we love about XRP with transaction speed and such. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I like that you can okay. I like that they have a node that you can have, and each person who believes in the node and they have one put into their house, it makes it just that much more safer. So you can actually put into it as well. I just like a lot of things. I like a lot of things about it. No, I didn't see that. Shane, I did not see that. But H bar, this death cross right now, it's got rejected a couple times trying to break back through it. It's pretty crazy to see how far down we are right now. Only at 17 cents. And the funny thing is like these patterns are so drawn out now that you could literally start to put them together in a real way. Because like some of them just consolidated for so long that you can start to see what they ended up building, and it's pretty incredible. And like this is where we're at right now. Because assuming we don't just break out, I mean the support structure now is down at 12.2. Then it gets even worse if you can't hold this. So there's a lot of things that are looking like we created big head and shoulder topping reversal. This looks like an M topping reversal. We took the elevator up and we're just simply taking the stairs down. Looks like it. It doesn't mean it's going to last like this forever, but let's be honest with ourselves. Look at the fucking volume here. We couldn't find volume if it fucking slapped us in the face right now. If we could just find volume, my God, would this be freaking historic? That's why I think why I'm so disappointed. If we could just find a little volume. Oh, Shane, I've been looking into it and it's not all that complicated with DGB, honestly. It's not. It's going to take a little bit of energy consumption. And then I've got to find out the proper rig that I want to do. You can do it as simple as a laptop that runs a certain graphics. You know, it doesn't take a lot these days. That's what I think, James. You nailed it. We're not going to see volume until tax cuts and quantitative easing. That's what I've been trying to echo here as well. Frankie says, Tom, just tell me it's not possible that I can't tell you that it's not possible to go back to 50 cents because we have fair value gaps all the way down at like, I don't even want to talk about it, but I can tell you there's fair value gaps sub 10 cents if you go back in the chart. So, I mean, I can't tell you that. I can't. I wish I could. Now, do I think it'd be hard to go to 50 cents? It would. But that's only because we haven't broke down the dollar. Once you break down $1.50, a lot of this becomes a lot of now be careful with institutional money. Remember, institutions can't buy XRP at a different price right now. So a lot of those institutions we speak of had side pricing, and that's what allowed these astronomical runs here. Because you were able to dry some of the liquidity supply of XRP by selling it off the main exchange. They haven't been able to do that since Judge Annalisa Perez put the amendment or put the injunction in that they couldn't sell to institutions at a separate price than the public. So until that gets rectified, a lot of that buying we speak of with institutions, they're not buying it at these prices anyhow. They either had some, they've been given some, or they bought it at those. That's the problem here. That's what you need to ask yourself, Frankie. Is it really going to rise that much, or is this just what everybody's telling you? That's just an honest question. If everybody and their mother is telling you that it's going to go up to X amount, even the news is starting to talk about XRP. So when that starts to happen, I've learned over the years, That just means that maybe we're not as bullish as we were thinking. And like for me, I've been looking for every reason to turn this fucker bullish. Excuse my French, to turn this market bullish, like in a real way. But the only thing I keep coming back with since December, the day after my birthday, mind you, is the fact that we've got this catastrophic drop. And even if we hold $1.50 from where we were at $3.40, you know, that was a better than 50% drop. And now sitting here at 213, it seems like, you know, that relief rally back up to 299 or 295 we got. If you didn't sell out, that looks like the play right now. And I hate to say that, but that's where the right shoulder was. Well, it's not confirmed until it drops the right arm. That's why I keep saying you can't lose that $1.98. If you lose that, the right arm comes in play and you're probably going to $1.50. That's a big gap area, FEG. It's something I've talked about for many months. And this isn't because I'm being bearish. Don't come in here and think, oh, this is like the 7th day in a row we're fucking bearish. It's not that we're bearish. We're just looking at the market. And I've been telling everybody the whole way down, a lot of people are buying the dips, but it's not actually a dip. It's a cycle reversal. Doesn't mean it's a cycle killer or cycle ender, but you have to understand in a cycle reversal, now you're in a mini bear market at best. And because at best, then you can come out of it and continue in wave 5. But you're still, nonetheless, you're in a bear market, mini. It's a mini bear market we're experiencing right now. Bitcoin's down, as of right now, over 22% from the top. That's in bear market territory. XRP's down, you know, almost 50% from the top. Definitely a bear market. If we were at $1.70, so about 40, 35, 40. So we're in a bear market. So that's why I always say this reminds me so much of 21 because everybody thought they were buying the dip, but all they were buying was retail's way out into the shitter while they were cashing out, you know, the whales. And whales are very different than institutional investors. Some of the institutions they can say are whales, but when I'm speaking of whales, I'm not talking about an institution. I'm talking about I guess it could be an entity as well. But for this regard, I'm talking about a whale with somebody who's got a lot of money. Good thing I ran out of money to buy the last 3 days. Right? I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And then some of us over leverage, right? We just over marginalize the market. So, I mean, that's basically what I got today. If there's anything in the news, so be it. Let's see if there's anything for our friend XRP. What's it been? 57, 58 minutes. Yeah, I want to make sure my son's good. Julie was doing something. Yeah, see, XRP $27 in 60 days. I'm not going to complain if it happens, you know, with my $250,000 plus, but XRP price reacts to bearish death cross signal with 6% spike, which we've covered a lot of that today and what we have to do to get out of there. XRP might drop below $2, and this is at 12:22 p.m. Ooh. Always like when the 222s are trying to guide us. This is telling us. Goldman Sachs makes key Fed prediction. I want to read this, and then I'll be out. I'll get out of your hair. XRP might drop below $2. Goldman Sachs makes key Fed prediction. Ripple's ROUSD flips major stablecoins in this key metric. Crypto news digest by you today. So XRP goodbye to $2. Yesterday, March 31st, XRP plunged by more than 5% to the lows of $2.06, adding to its risk of losing its long-standing $2 threshold. The 200-day exponential moving average at $1.94, which is a big deal in the daily, is XRP's last line of defense, and historically, falling below this level has led to faster declines. Additionally, the apex of the descending triangle pattern is nearing, which signals an impending breakdown. When support weakens, ooh, they didn't hold any bones there. When support weakens under pressure, if XRP significantly breaks below $2 and the 200 exponential moving average is not maintained, the next significant support is located between the $1.85 and the $1.80. To break this trend, the asset needs to regain the $2.30 to 40 range and close above it with significant volume. However, the chances of XRP doing this appear slim in the absence of a more widespread market catalyst, which puts the future of $2 mark in jeopardy. Currently, XRP is valued at $2.12, up 1.09% over the past 24 hours. The key Fed prediction made by Goldman Sachs is it bullish for crypto. According to recent X post by Wu Blockchain, Goldman Sachs has revised its inflation forecast. Now it's expecting the core PCE, the personal, what is that, the consumer expenditures or whatever, or personal consumption. Who the fuck knows what their names anymore? They always switch it. Index to rise 3.5% this year instead of the previously estimated 3%. To address the, how is that? Oh, personal consumption. Oh my God. Oh man, they're trying to fluff it. To address the hit on growth and unemployment, Goldman Sachs expects the Fed to cut interest rates 3 times in the second half of 2025. This outlook exceeds both the Fed's own projection and market expectation, as Fed officials hinted at further reductions later this year during the March meetings. With key labor market reports and a speech from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell on the horizon, analysts are watching closely for macroeconomic signals that could influence market dynamics. Historically, rate cuts have helped boost risk assets like cryptocurrency, suggesting that lower borrowing costs could drive increased investment in the crypto space, increasing buying pressure. With Ripple's RLUSD flips major stablecoin in the key metric, Ripple stablecoin has received praise from VET on XRP done out validated in a recent X post. VET highlighted RLUSD's impressive performance compared to other stablecoins. The post reads, RLUSD is the most capital efficient stablecoin in the entire crypto market currently. It has the highest volume to TVL ratio at 37%, leaving the other top stablecoins far behind. According to CoinMarketCap data from yesterday, Ripple USD, RLUSD recorded 39.49%, Tether reported 36.45%, while USDC and PayPal USD showed 15.02 and 6.76% respectively. Since its launch in December 2024, our USD market capitalization has surged to $243.77 million. This exceeds Ripple's internal projections for growth. Ripple executive Jack McDonald shared a general expectation by the Ripple team that RLUSD would become one of the top 5 stablecoins by the end of the year, echoing earlier predictions from CEO Brad Garlinghouse. So I thank everybody for tuning in. And for everybody who's tuning in, and maybe this will get like 100, which will be the next one, we're going to do one more thing before we leave. Ladies and gentlemen, when the market seems bear, when everybody seems bearish, when the end seems like there's no end in sight, and we just need a positive vibe. I've been doing this going all the way back to April 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we wait and we won't and we will and we won't and we will and we'll wait to see about the tariffs. So yeah, stay true, stay blessed. I guess don't go broke like this guy. Nah, he's looking pretty good today. Looks like he's got his is that his hands out like for a hand me out? I don't know now. Maybe we should give him like a little chair. Although I'm not the best artist now, it looks like he's taking a shit. Or maybe he's going to take a shit. I don't know. Kind of looks like some kind of weird seat. But thank you. Seriously. Thank you, everybody. His hands are kind of like, what the fuck? Like, here, sir. I know it's hard to be an XRP holder. Oh, wait a minute. Now it looks like... Whatever. He's holding some smokes. I was going to give him money, but now it doesn't even look like that. $2 for $1? You know, maybe he's trying to buy more XRP. Anyhow, thank you, everybody. Have a blessed evening. I got to go out. I got to go help out with my son and make sure Julie's good. It's getting closer to his bedtime. We got a big day.